Are you for the top 5 best over-ear headphones? In this video, we will look at some of the top 5 best over-ear headphones on the market. For more details and price, click product link. Please check the description below. Before we get started with our video. Number 1. Anker SoundCore Life Q30. Premium noise-canceling headphones tend to cost more than $300. But what if you're on a tight budget? What's your best option for noise-canceling over-ear headphones? As far as sound, comfort level, and build quality, you'd be hard-pressed to do better than Anker's SoundCore Life Q30 for the money. They don't quite have the same clarity or bass definition as some of the top premium models, but they're less than a third of the price and get you about 75% of the way there in terms of sound. It's well balanced overall with punchy bass, and there's an app that allows you to tweak the sound. The noise canceling is good for the price, though not up to the level of the Sony WH-1000XM4 Bose noise canceling headphones 700. Battery life is rated at an impressive 40 hours with USB-C charging. The only area where the Q30 headphones fall a little short is voice calls. They pick up your voice fine in quieter environments, but they just don't reduce background noise all that well. Compared with the step-down Q20, the Q30 headphones do offer improved sound. It's not a huge difference, but it definitely is a notch up and a more premium design. Number 2. Sony WH-1000XM4. When Sony's WH-1000XM headphones arrived in 2018, they were the first noise-canceling headphones that really gave Bose's QuietComfort models a run for their money. Now, Sony's successor model has arrived, and like any good Hollywood sequel, the eagerly awaited WH-1000 is equal parts familiar and satisfying, with a dash of slight disappointment thrown in. While we reviewed this earlier in 2020, it stood the test of time versus products that have come after in the category. As such, we're awarding it an editor's choice. If you expected major changes and upgrades, you'll be a little underwhelmed. But if you thought the 1000XM3 was pretty great, which I did, and just needed to fix some of its small flaws, you may very well be happy that Sony has made some incremental improvements that address many, though not all, of the little gripes users had. The long and short of it is, what may just have been the best noise-canceling headphone of the last 2 years has gotten a little better. By how much? That's what this review is all about. On the outside anyway, little has changed. Like the WH-1000XM, the WH-1000XM still comes in the same black and silver color options. The black case has a slight color variation and carries a list price of $350, 330 pounds, $499. It's available for pre-order now and ships in mid-August. If you look closely, there are some subtle alterations that are designed to make the headphones fit more comfortably. The ear pads are ever so slightly bigger, the oval inside is a little wider, and the padding is also a touch softer. On top of that, some of the padding has been shaved off the top of the headband. All these little changes are supposed to reduce the pressure on both the top of your head and around your ears. I did find them slightly more comfortable to wear over longer listening sessions. Oh, and they do weigh a gram less than the 3XM3, 254 grams, or 8.96 ounces. We didn't get the bigger loss in weight that we got when we went from the 2 square to the 3. But Sony did add a sensor, more on that in a minute, and still managed to shed a gram. There's no change to the buttons, at least to their placement. The button that used to be labeled NC Ambient is now labeled Custom. From the app for iOS and Android, you can now program the button to do what it did before. Toggle between noise canceling and a transparency mode that lets sound in from the outside world. Or you can program it to perform another function, such as activate Amazon's Alexa or Google Assistant. Also, if you hold it for a few seconds, the headphones go into a calibration mode to detect the shape of your head and whether you're wearing glasses. It optimizes the headphones based on those readings. The 3MC also did that. The bigger changes are on the inside. One you can see. Inside the left ear cup, there's a sensor that detects when you have the headphones on and automatically pauses the audio when you take them off. It doesn't seem to affect battery life adversely. In fact, it's supposed to help save battery life. Like the 3MC, it's still rated at 30 hours with wireless and noise cancelling on. Quite good by noise cancelling wireless headphone standards. and you get 5 hours worth of juice from only 10 minutes of charging via USB-C. Now the hidden stuff. There's a new Bluetooth system on a chip that has more processing power. The headphone still uses Sony's QN1 chip that's found in the 3MC, but Sony tweaked its algorithms for noise canceling and digital signal processing to slightly improve both the sound and noise canceling. Both were already excellent in the 3, and now they're a touch better. Sony had pulled even with Bose as far as noise canceling goes, and then arguably went slightly ahead with the release of the 3MC. Bose made some small improvements with its excellent noise canceling 700 headphones, which came out later. The noise canceling of both companies' headphones is quite effective, but in my limited testing with the Sony WH-1000XM4, I didn't fly on a plane with it. It does seem to be a tad better at muffling ambient noise than the 3XM3. This model appears to be tops for noise canceling, but I'll have to conduct more tests to say that for certain. Like their predecessor, you can manually select the amount of noise cancellation, or engage adaptive noise canceling that adjusts on the fly according to your surroundings. I'm not in love with the adaptive noise canceling, because when it switches modes, your music pauses for a second, and you get a little dinging noise in the headphones letting you know that it's adapted. That can be a bit jarring. Overall, the upgrades are subtle improvements rather than game changers. The headphone does a little better job at upconverting streaming music from services like Spotify to pseudo high resolution, according to Sony. The 4 megapascals is better at processing highs, adding back in a bit of missing detail that's lost when you're dealing with compressed streaming audio. Sony refers to this technology as DSE, which stands for Digital Sound Enhancement Engine, and says it's engineered to enhance the sound quality of compressed audio files by restoring high-range sound removed by the compression process. The headphone supports SBC, AAC, and LDAC streaming codecs, but not Qualcomm's aptX codec, which is available with certain Android devices, but not iOS devices, although Macs do support it. The odd thing is that the 3 supported aptX. It's not a huge omission, but some people swear that streaming using aptX sounds better. AAC is just fine, however. Number 3. Beyerdynamic DT700 Pro X. We were fans of Beyerdynamic's earlier DT770 Pro headphones. The new DT700X is easier to drive than the 770 Pro, thanks to the company's new stellar 45 sound transducer with an impedance of 48 ohms. So it plays better with smartphones, tablets, and laptops without requiring a headphone amp. The headphone is targeted at content creators who want accurate audio reproduction, but it's a bit more dynamic sounding and less bass shy than many studio headphones, which tend to restrain the bass and hue toward a very neutral sound profile. The DT700X is a revealing, clean-sounding headphone that offers invitingly open sound, particularly for a closed-back headphone, and makes you realize what you're missing after listening to similarly priced Bluetooth headphones. Unlike the earlier DT770 Pro, which is being sold at a nice discount around $160, the DT700X comes with 2 interchangeable detachable straight cables in different lengths, and the DT700X arguably has a little cleaner look than its predecessor. The solidly built headphone, it weighs 350 grams, is quite comfortable, featuring upgraded soft, velour-covered memory foam ear pads that offer decent passive noise isolation. The ear pads and the headphone's other parts are replaceable, Beyerdynamic says. Beyerdynamic also sells the open-back DT900X for the same price. That model should provide slightly more open, airy sound, but the big drawback is people around you can hear whatever you're listening to, and sound also leaks in. This closed-back version is more versatile. Number 4. Bose QuietComfort 45. The Bose QuietComfort 45 essentially looks the same as its popular predecessor, the QuietComfort 35i, with the biggest design difference being a USB-C port in place of the older micro USB. At 238 grams, the QC45 weighs just 3 grams more than the QC35, which should be imperceptible. And while the Bose 700 have plenty of fans, a lot of people, including me, think this QuietComfort design is slightly more comfortable, and the headphones fold up and fold flat. It's arguably the most comfortable pair of headphones out there. They also sound very similar to the QC35i, with no change to the drivers. Where you'll see an improvement is with the noise cancellation. There's a transparency mode, which very well could be the best out right now. According to Bose, there's a new electronics package that powers the new ANC system, which now better muffles unwanted sounds in the mid-range frequencies voices that you typically find on commuter trains, busy office spaces, and cafes. I found that to be true and give these the slight edge over both the headphones 700 and Sony WH-1000s for noise cancelling. That said, you can't adjust the level of noise cancelling like you can with those models, which offer a more robust feature set, particularly the Sony. You also can't tweak the sound in the app. There's no equalizer settings. The headset performance has also improved, with better noise reduction during calls. And these offer multi-point Bluetooth pairing. That means you can pair the QC45 with two devices simultaneously, such as a smartphone and PC, and switch audio as needed. They're equipped with Bluetooth 5.1 and support the widely compatible AAC audio codec, but not aptX. While these have advantages over the headphones 700 and Sony WH-1000s and to sound quite good, those models sound slightly better. The 700 is slightly more natural sounding and tuned more for audiophiles, while the Sony has more dynamic bass. So that makes choosing between these three models that much more difficult. Number 5. Technics EAH-A800. There's a bit of an old school vibe to the Technics EAH-A800. And it's not just the Technics brand, which Panasonic resurrected in the last few years. Their design is something of a throwback, but the headphones are comfortable and both fold up and fold flat. They feature a big, energetic sound with powerful bass and good detail. However, they take a day or two to break in. They feature ear detection sensors that automatically pause your music when you take the headphones off, as well as multi-point Bluetooth pairing, so you can connect them to two devices at the same time like a computer and smartphone. Additionally, they have support for Sony's near-lossless LDAC audio codec for Bluetooth streaming. That's available on certain Android devices. I mainly listen to these headphones with an Android device and the Qobuz music service, which offers high-resolution tracks. That setup offers the best possible wireless sound quality. The headphones are available in black and silver, and according to Panasonic, can deliver up to 50 hours of battery life at moderate volume with ANC on. That's excellent. The 800A800 also works well as a headset for making calls, with 8 onboard microphones for noise reduction and voice pickup.